We are live, people. We are live. Welcome to the Toronto Hoop Talk live stream during the quarterfinal match between Canada and Slovenia. Um, the game is starting up soon. Shout out to everybody watching live. Shout out to anybody that might be watching this on the replay. Whoa, replay on in the background. But yeah, if you're watching this, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. The engagement helps the channel grow. We are starting off. They're about to tip the ball. They're about to tip the ball off. Biggest Canada matchup in history, people. Definitely in my lifetime. But yeah, just generally the biggest. Same starting five as normal. Dwight Powell will tip the ball off with Mike Tobey, I think. And Dwight Powell tips it right to Slovenia. Slovenia starts off on a fast break, and the guy misses a layup. It's a fortunate start for Canada. SGA with the ball, backing his defender down, getting it to a spot in the mid-range and getting the shot to fall 2-0. 9:40 to go in the first. Good start from Canada. You got the lucky missed layup on one end. So far, we're running a lot of the same actions defensively in terms of switching everything. Olenek is switched on to a forward. Dylan Brooks switched on to the center. They miss a shot from the three-point line. RJ Barrett gets the rebound. Gets going in transition. Loses control of the ball for a second. Gets to the basket. Misses. Gets his own rebound. Canada recycled the ball. SGA getting to the basket. Has to be fouled. Can't be stopped, people. That's our superstar right there. I think this is SGA to the free throw line. Yeah, that's continuation. Nope, no free throws for SGA. We have the ball. Dylan Brooks and Dwight Powell in the pick and roll. As the roll man, Dwight Powell gets the pass but doesn't catch it. Goes right out of bounds. Slovenia ball. But yeah, to the people in the chat, let me know where you're watching from. It's an early start for me, obviously 8:30 local time in Toronto. For anybody on the West Coast, it must be, maybe 6:30 to 5:30, depending on where you are. Corner three from Slovenia. Luka sets a shooter up. SGA with the ball. SGA gets the ball back. Gets to a spot in the mid-range, gets the shot to fall. So a quick start for SGA, which is typically not how it goes for him. Typically, the start of the games are where he's not that effective, and he gets going sometime in the second quarter and then really gets going in the third. And obviously, in the last game, he was amazing down the stretch the last couple minutes of the game. But we're getting a quick start. So hopefully this can just sustain the whole game. Luka hits a step back three. It's about as contested as a Luka step back three is going to get, and he makes it. They're full court pressing Shea, and they foul Shea, unable to keep him from getting past the defender without fouling him. So that's two fouls on the guy guarding Shea quickly. That's obviously going to be a good thing for Canada if the defender on Shea is in foul trouble. And both fouls happened because he couldn't stop Shea from getting by him. For the people watching this live stream, is the commentary of the game audible in the mic? Because if so, I should turn that down. I'm just gonna do that really quickly, and then I'll be right back. Give me like 5 seconds. And we're back. So they called an unsportsmanlike foul on Dylan Brooks. I didn't catch what he did, but obviously that's going to be 2 free throws for Slovenia and the ball. That'll give them a 4-point lead early. Kelly Olynyk is complaining to the ref. So I missed what happened, but he missed the second free throw. So hopefully that's a ball don't lie situation. I hope Dylan Brooks didn't do something too silly. Yeah, I got up to turn the audio down and I turned back and looked to the screen and it's unsportsmanlike foul on Dylan Brooks. So that's 2-2 for Dylan Brooks now. And on the very next possession, still aggressively defending Luka. Luka, oh come on, RJ. Tries to kick it to the guy in the corner, and RJ is in the path to get the steal. Ball just goes through his hands though. No. Okay, good. Good. Slovenia, one of their players dribbles right out of bounds, tries to get around Olynyk. If Olynyk was a little bit more aggressive, that would have been a foul. But good job to just shepherd his man out of bounds. Canada stuck 3, 7-4 Slovenia with 7:17 to go. RJ taking the ball up the court. So they were pressing uh, Shea really aggressively, and even when he didn't have the ball, they were still pressing him aggressively. So I wonder if that's why RJ was the guy taking the ball forward to just not risk a potential, issues with the full court press. Dylan Brooks hits a corner three and gets the crowd going. On the defensive end immediately, obviously tasked with guarding Luka. Luka finds a shooter, hits a three. That's two of Slovenia's buckets now, coming from Luka collapsing the defense and finding a shooter on the perimeter. On the other side, Zoran Dragic, you know what I'm saying? Little brother of Mr. Higher Ambitions, fouls Shea. So that's Shea now having drawn 3 fouls. But yeah, Luka obviously doing a bulk of the creating for Slovenia early. Kelly Olynyk misses a 3. Luka waving off a screen. Another screen comes. Olynyk gets switched onto Luka. Barbecue chicken alert. Luka fortunately misses the look at the rim. Took some contact. Shea going the other way. Kicks. Olynyk wide open from 3. Got to make that. Makes the 3. Let's go. I mean, big possession, big back-to-back possessions there from Olynyk, not getting cooked by Luka and hitting an open 3. So it's 10-10. They're calling an offensive foul on Slovenia. Luka and Dylan Brooks are caught up with each other off the ball. Luka looks a little bit frustrated. That's the Dylan Brooks effect. I don't know if they called the offensive foul on Luka pushing Dylan Brooks or an illegal screen on the guy who was Dylan Brooks was pushed into. No, they called it on Luka. Look, that's what Dylan Brooks is on the court for, people. Be a disruptor. RJ bullying his way to the basket, gets a look to fall. Dwight Powell's grabbing his ankle. I don't know if he landed on something or his shoe is messed up right now. But they refuse to show. Oh, it's just his shoe. His shoelaces came untied. So the game briefly pauses so he can tie his shoes. Yeah, he obviously went up for the rebound or like with the potential rebound, and when he landed, he was keeping his foot off the ground and kind of hopping. So I was like, yikes, this is either a bad ankle injury or a shoe malfunction. Okay, we're switching liberally on defense now. Dwight Powell is matched up on Luka, who gets to the basket with ease and gets fouled. We're fortunate that he didn't make the shot there on the and one. So 2 free throws for Luka. Yeah, 2 free throws for Luka. He very easily could have made that and one. That would have been bad for Canada. What I will say though is I feel like earlier in the month, like when I watched Luka on Slovenia earlier, he had his beard lined up. It looked a lot better. Luka, get in touch with the barbers. Who that last barber blessed you. Okay, They're relenting a little bit on the press for Shea. They waited until half court to like assault him this time instead of just assaulting him immediately. Oh my goodness, RJ, come on. RJ uses Powell as the roll man, pick and roll, throws a lob to him. Should have been an open alley oop, but just a terrible pass. Terrible pass. It should have been a turnover. Should have gone out of bounds and been a turnover. Fortunately, a Slovenian player tipped it out. Honestly, no need to go up and get it. But yeah, SGA, again, just finding his spot in the mid range. This time it's around the baseline, gets it to fall, hitting his shots at a very high rate early. 6 points, 3 for 3. Oh, screw, a very high rate at a perfect rate. Again, Dwight Powell switched on to Luka. Oy, 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 come on, Kelly. Come on, Kelly. Kelly Olynyk really just like flies at a shooter who pump fakes and gets him to blow by, and the like scrambling defense from Canada can't keep up with Slovenia's passing, who find an open 3-point shooter to make a shot. I feel like Slovenia is perfect from the 3-point line early. So hopefully we start getting some misses, but SGA spins and spins in the mid-range and hits a turnaround jumper in the mid-range, 4 for 4 for SGA, 8 of our 16 points. He is making sure to keep up with Slovenia's hot start from the 3-point line with a hot start of his own from the mid-range. Dylan Brooks playing good defense there, tipping a pass to Luka out of bounds, defending him aggressively without fouling him. Now Lou Dort is in the game, and Lou Dort was tasked with Luka, who they got the switch with Dwight Powell, and Dort was now guarding the center, who couldn't finish at the rim. Dort in the corner, goes baseline, collapses the defense, and then does nothing with it. Pump fakes with a pull-up 3, picks up his dribble for no reason, gives it to RJ, who then finds him in the corner again, but he steps out of bounds. So sloppy possession there offensively, but it's whatever. For his first action of the game since checking in. I missed if Dylan Brooks actually would go on to make that 3 or not. But anyways, Canada up 16-15, 3:25 in the first. We have two bench players on the Canadian side. Kyle Alexander checks in for Dwight Powell as a Slovenian player makes a deep 3. And I'm not sure exactly if Slovenia's made some subs, but I'm sure they have. I think that player was a sub. His hairline did not look familiar. SGA matched up against a big step back 3, misses the shot front rim. First miss of the game from SGA. Lou Dort picking up Luka full court. Needed a screen to come free him up. Gets the switch on Kyle Alexander. Shoots the 3, misses back rim. There's a foul underneath the basket on, I don't know who the foul is on, but Slovenia went on to make the basket afterwards. So even if it's a foul it's a foul on Lou Dort, but I'll take that because they were just about to score anyways. So I'm watching the replay. I don't think that was a foul, but again, they were going to score. So if Slovenia don't score here, that did save us a basket. Nikhil is now in the game, and Nikhil gets a steal at the rim. SGA finds Dort in the corner, wide open 3, hits it from the corner, giving Canada a 1-point lead, 19-18, 2:20. So quick impact from the substitutes here. Nikhil gets a steal underneath the basket, just rips it out of somebody's hands. And in transition, they get a very good possession. Oh, wow, that's so unfortunate. Kyle Alexander gets a block at the rim, but unfortunately, the guy who shot he blocked, Mike Tobey, gets the rebound and puts it right back in. But that was a hell of a block. And I think one of his more impactful plays. Blocking foul on Slovenia. Kyle Alexander, again, the roll man to the basket. Basically, there's a blocking foul underneath the rim. But yeah, he did so well to recover on that block there. It's just so unlucky that the ball just so happened to end up right in the guy's hands. But free throws for Kyle Alexander now. I don't think he's shot any free throws yet in this tournament, so I don't know how good or not good of a free throw shooter he is. But SGA checked out of the game for Melvin Edgem. I think we have an all bench unit plus RJ. So it's RJ in the bench. For those who watched the last game, when this was the lineup in the last game, RJ carried. RJ got out in transition, got a lot of the good looks at the basket, and made a lot of his shots. I think he had 11 in the first half. And frankly, was the only reason that that game wasn't a blowout in the first half. So the circumstances are the same for him, but we're playing much better around him. So hopefully we can get that same 11 points from RJ. I think the ball's going to be in his hands a lot. Luka with Nikhil on him. Awesome defensive possession by Nikhil. Oh wow. Oh, that sucks. They called a foul on him at the end. He did a very good job of, like, because Luka's a lot stronger than him, not outright getting bullied. And then at the very end, when Luka's about to take a contested shot, or he's about to go up and probably take like a contested like push shot, he swipes down at the ball and misses and puts Luka on the free throw line. So Luka ties it up 21-21. It'll be interesting to see how much he plays, because obviously Canada took SGA off the court. We only have RJ on the court in terms of our starters. So Luka gets to go up against a bench-heavy unit. It'll be interesting to see how long until they take him out too. And if he plays a lot of minutes here, we just need to stick around. We need to stick around because that means he'll be more tired towards the end of the game, and SGA won't be as tired as him. And we should be able to win minutes towards the stretch, like the end of the game. But we need to hang in there right now. Obviously, Lou Dort is on the court, somebody who has experience guarding Luka. But again, we're switching everything. Kyle Alexander switched on to Luka. Luka gets to the basket, gets to his spot, misses a good look. We get the rebound to go the other way. Guys, hang in there. Hang in their bench lineup. I can't lie, man. Kyle Alexander getting switched on to Luka is stressful. Melvin Edgem gets his look. He got a decent look, maybe about 5 to 6 feet away from the basket, missed it, and the rebound went right off the Slovenian guy's hands out of bounds. So we got fortunate there. Still down 122-21. 52 seconds to go in the first. And Luka has officially checked out. So we got bench versus bench now for the most part. This is where, now that I think RJ is definitely the best player on the court, RJ, it's time to take over. Let's get a bit of a lead going now until Luka gets back. RJ gets to the basket, finishes strong with the dunk. Nobody went up to contest that. Somebody was getting posted if somebody jumped. That's what I like to see. Deep three from Slovenia. In and out. Yikes. That was close. That guy was feeling himself. Lou Dort, pull up three in transition, makes the shot. 4-point lead. 23 seconds to go in the first. Slovenia will take the last shot of the quarter. But Canada will have a lead regardless of what happens. Unless they get a 7-point possession like Spain did. Slovenia, their player gets right to the basket with ease, gets a shot to fall at the basket. Nikhil gets a full court shot off. They didn't foul him, but they made that way more difficult than that deep of a shot needs to be, man. They were defending the shit out of that. But 26-24, Canada people at the end of the first quarter. A bad start that Canada tends to have has been avoided. We've started out strong. SGA on fire, only missed one shot. RJ's done enough. Dylan Brooks hit a three. Defensively, I think obviously, Luka is Luka. Like I said in the YouTube short that I posted, and I mentioned that I was like, there's no such thing as a Luka stopper. We're just gonna have to deal with Luka, and that's gonna be what it is. But they have to deal with SGA as well. So that's what this game has been. We've had to deal with Luka. We've had to just like deal with the shots he's going to create for others, the obviously the points he's going to score himself. But Slovenia's had to deal with SGA as well. He's been amazing. He's gone toe to toe with Luka thus far in terms of scoring. I believe, I don't know exactly how many points Luka has, but I believe SGA has like 10. And yeah, 26-24. We didn't get gashed in the minutes that Luka was playing against our bench. We're really fortunate to have Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort to be two guys we can throw at Luka. Luka is not going to have an easy time with his primary defender at any point. That being said, obviously we're switching everything. So there were a lot of possessions where Luka got switched on to bigs, right? There were a good amount of possessions where Dwight Powell and Kyle Alexander got switched onto Luka. And a lot of those times, those possessions ended up being good possessions for Slovenia. So what I feel good about, though, is that Jordi Fernandez is going to get time to look at that and assess defensive strategies. We've seen Jordi Fernandez make good adjustments throughout this whole tournament. Last game against Spain, the adjustment of benching Kelly Olynyk for the second half and starting Lou Dort. Against France, the adjustments of never messing up with the substitutions and having a whole lineup of bench players. I forget, have there been any other substitutes? Big changes. Those are the two ones that stand out to me. But yeah, I expect Jordi Fernandez to figure this game out in terms of that, if that becomes a problem. But I'm happy with what we've done so far. The second quarter starts off, Dylan Brooks, head down, trying to get to the basket, can't, so he takes a mid-range kind of a falling to the side jumper at the baseline and hits it. So this lineup is now, I think, Dylan Brooks in the bench. So it's the same, the way it was RJ in the bench before. RJ's been subbed out for Dylan Brooks, who is guarding, I don't know who he's guarding exactly, but Slovenia doesn't have Luka on the court. I think they have a couple starters based on the faces that I recognize. But yeah, Dylan Brooks now with the ball. Oh, Olynyk is on the court too. Okay, so Olynyk checked in. So Nikhil, Lou Dort, and Melvin Ejim are the bench players on the court. Man. A foul on Slovenia. I missed what happened, but I think somebody fouled Olynyk. Olynyk is going to inbound the ball. With this lineup out there, I do want Nikhil with the ball in his hands. Just as I say that, he takes a three off a dribble handoff and hits it. Deep three from Nikhil, restoring the 4-point lead for Canada. Olynyk takes a couple bumps. Yo, this number 7 on Slovenia is a hooper. Hits another three. Just a pest to deal with. Whoever is guarding him is having a hard time keeping up with him. Oh, Prepelic. Who was it? Miguel. Miguel was in the live chat during the preview of this game that I did on my channel, and he mentioned Prepelic. He's like, look, Canada has to watch for Prepelic off the bench. Yo, Prepelic is a hooper. I think he's got 9 points off the bench, 3 for 4 shooting. Deep threes, too. And he's like mobile, he's active, he's working off the ball. Lou Dort goes to the basket, gets fouled. Lou Dort at the free throw line. He'll probably split him. We know what it is with Lou Dort. I think a foul gets called on Prepelic. Foul him out the game. Get him out the game. Ironically, actually no, Luka wears 77, right? Because I was gonna say Prepelic has 7. It's out here, bro. The 7s are hurting us, man. Luka and Prepelic. Lou Dort made his first, shoots his second, and makes his second. Look, Lou Dort made both free throws. Life is good. Life is good. 33-30 to Canada, people. Prepelic, driving kick. The outlet pass to the three-point shooter stolen by Dylan Brooks, who goes to the other end and is fouled when he tries to dunk on somebody. I'm not going to lie. I think that's a foul on Slovenia because he's in the restricted area. Otherwise, his defensive position, like that could have been a charge. But no, actually, never mind. He jumped. He jumped, and he was in the restricted area. Yeah, he really risked getting dunked on there. It's just that Dylan Brooks isn't the kind of guy. If that was RJ, that would have been a poster. But Dylan Brooks to the free throw line, misses the first free throw, would get his second free throw. That's two fouls on that guy, though. So that's good. Look, I think there's a couple guys on Slovenia with two fouls. I don't know if anybody on Canada has two fouls. We haven't really been fouling Slovenia like that. I'm not sure that they've been getting to the free throw line. I hope that doesn't change. SGA back on the court now. Okay, so we got some SGA minutes on the court without Luka. Olenek is lost defensively, and a Slovenian big man gets a bucket. Okay, let's go. Let's go, SGA. Let's go. Fouled on his way to the basket. Um, that guy just took the foul. Like SGA was on his way to the rim to get a good look at the basket, and the guy just fouled him. Said nope. I think that's a bench player, so I'm sure he doesn't care about the fouls he picks up. But again, just Slovenia, like having a hard time containing SGA. They're having a harder time containing SGA than we are having containing Luca. Frankly, it's just that like when Luca's been kicking it out, I think they've hit the three every time, but some misses are coming. Luca checks onto the court. So the minutes with just SGA on the court are over. Lou Dort with the ball gets a big switched onto him, loses the ball, um, falls onto it, finds SGA. 6 seconds left on the shot clock, kicks to Dylan Brooks. Blow by the defender blows by off a pump fake, sidestep, shoots the three and misses. That was a good look. And in transition, Slovenia passes the ball off Nikhil Alexander's foot. It's a kickball. But yeah, one thing I'll say so far about Canada is that I think we're generating good shots all around. Um, I think it's not like I don't think we can be upset with the rate that we're hitting them. I think we're scoring pretty well. Of course, just like so is Slovenia. I think if anything, if we can just get more of the same offensively but better defensively, we're in very good shape in this game. Very good shape. Again, Dwight Powell gets switched on to Luca, and he has to foul Luca to stop from getting blown by. This is what I was saying. People like the bigs are getting switched on to Luca because we're just liberally switching everything, and that's fine because like I understand that we've been doing that all tournament, and I understand that that is a very much what these players are used to doing. But if that gets too bad at some point, then we do have to reconsider what we're doing or make some adjustments off the ball defensively to get those defenders some help. Canada swipes the ball out of bounds. Luka is complaining. He seems to insist that he was fouled. The Slovenian coach is complaining. But yeah, I think Slovenia is just going to inbound the ball. Like I said, I don't think Slovenia has been getting a lot of calls. We haven't really been putting them on the line or anything like that. 2 seconds left in the possession. Luka has to jack up a late three. Misses it, but Slovenia gets the rebound. Oh, man. Oh, man. Luka finds a shooter, hits a three. Slovenia 1 point lead. It's cool because, like, man, those threes are gonna stop falling at some point. Not because like Slovenia is not good or anything, but because like making every three you take is not sustainable. But Nikhil, great job of a pump fake at the 3 point line, and then beating his defender to the rim. But yeah, like the thing is, when their 3 point shots stop falling, I hope the referees don't then start putting them on the free throw line because you have the way you've called the game so far. You haven't been putting Slovenia on the free throw line. Like keep it that way because like they haven't necessarily been putting Canada on the free throw line too much either. Like generally, they've been letting both teams play. Just keep it this way. But yeah, foul on Dwight Powell. Again, Dwight Powell getting switched on to Luka. Again, this is a thing that obviously is what Slovenia is aiming to do. And Dwight Powell is struggling with it, understandably. We need to. What did they do? They did something. No, they didn't. Oh yeah, Canada's up because of the Nikhil basket. Okay, we're going to a commercial break in the middle of the quarter, which is rare in FIBA basketball, but we're here, people. Shout out to everybody watching live. Shout out to anybody that might be watching on the replay. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, these are forms of engagement that help channels get bigger. So it's definitely appreciated. If you enjoy what you're watching, make sure you support it so that more and more content can be made. Um, yeah, it's a Scotty Barnes Bit By commercial, which is hilarious. But we're here. Canada's up one. If you're in the chat, shout out to you guys. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts so far in the game? Again, if let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm curious as to know like where in Canada and the whole world people are watching this game from. They're showing the timeout now. Jody's drawing something up and talking to the guys. Dylan Brooks was chipping in. The game is in Manila, so this is the thriller in Manila between SGA and Luka. So they're showing that Shea has 8 points. I thought he had 10, so it turns out he only has 8. We have 4 for 4 from 2. I think 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. Again, another contested 3 that Slovenia makes. This one wasn't even like a driving kick to an open shooter from Luka. They just kicked it to somebody in the corner who was covered, and he made the shot. Ball finds Dylan Brooks, open 3, misses. Slovenia goes the other way. Luka with the ball, guarded by Nikhil initially. Lou Dort is kind of sneaking over to him, and Luka backs down Nikhil and gets a tough shot to fall. 4-point lead for Slovenia, 40-36. SGA with the ball. SGA beating his man, getting to his spot, getting the shot to fall. About 4 or 5 feet from the basket, little push shot over the defender that he gets off balance with the initial move. SGA gets beat on the perimeter and tries to swipe at the ball to get a steal. He misses, so that's a foul called. I think that's his first foul. They were showing that tough shot that Luka made. Man, there's just nothing you can do about that. Luka shrugs off Lou Dort. They call nothing. Dylan Brooks switches on to him. Luka gets to the basket. A little bit of contact, but he misses the shot. They call nothing. Now they call a tech, I believe. So the transition possession is slowed up by a tech on Luka. Yeah, you like I mentioned earlier about when he got the offensive foul against Dylan Brooks, he seems frustrated, and then there again, there's a bit of contact at the rim, nothing's called. He takes the tech, he's very frustrated. Again, like I think the referees, however they're calling this game, I think they've been calling it even. It's not like Canada is on the free throw line every possession. So the referees, like while Slovenia, I think is upset with some of these calls, they're calling it even both way. And I want them to keep it this way because this way is fine for Canada. I don't mind us not getting to the free throw line. Just don't put Luka on the free throw line either every time he goes to the basket and there's contact. Nikhil in the corner. Big three. Nikhil 2 for 2 from the 3-point line in this game. I think he's got 8 points because he had the shot at the basket as well. Yeah, 8 points from Nikhil. Oh, he's 2 for 3 from 3. Slovenia contested 3. Finally, we get a miss. RJ in transition. Let's go. Gets the shot to fall. 4-point lead, Canada. Big swing right there, people. Big swing. People doing their job. Nikhil hitting the shots when they fall to him. Barrett getting out in transition, using his size and his physicality to finish through contact. And people, we have a 4-point lead. Luka Doncic will probably play the rest of this second quarter. I think it's a big stretch here. I think if we can even build on this lead and go into the second half with like a 7-8 point lead, I think we're in a really good spot. Again, my kind of assessment of what's going on is that Slovenia had a very, very, very like hot start from the 3 point line. And that's inevitably going to cool off at some point, right? So when that cools off, they're going to have to do something to supplement their scoring if we keep scoring at the same rate. And I think a lot more of our shots are from more sustainable stuff like getting to the basket and like basically SGA getting to his favorite spots in the mid range. I think that has a much higher likelihood of continuing than Slovenia's 3 point shot making. So with that potentially falling off and our shot making not falling off, the only way I think they could really compensate for it is if they get to the line. So really, like we have to just make sure we play clean basketball from this point onwards. But like I said, if we can get a 7 to 8 point lead from the half that they hit their shots in, we should be in very good shape for the second half. But again, just got to play clean basketball. People got to do their jobs. Nikhil, again, 8 points, his best first half of the tournament. 2 big threes and a good make at the basket. The game started 4:26 to go in the second. 44-40 for Canada. Luka with the ball. Dylan Brooks onto him. Lou Dort is switched onto him. Deep step back three, makes the shot. You live with that. You can't do anything about that. 1 point game. Nikhil dribbling the ball the other way. I will say though that I don't know if the matchup was on purpose there, but obviously Dylan Brooks was the initial defender, and the defender switched on to him. This time was Lou Dort, not Dwight Powell or Kyle Alexander like it had been earlier. Dylan Brooks turns the ball over, just handing it to Luka basically. Luka gets Nikhil switched on to him and gets a tough shot to fall through contact. There was definitely a lot of contact there. That could have been an and one. The referees are continuing to let us play. Canada could have had a look from the 3 point line, but Dylan Brooks dribbles to the basket and gets it to fall. All right. Come on. Luka's sitting in the corner. The ball's not in his hands, which is what I like to see. Prepelic, deep three, misses, offensive rebound. Oh my God. Offensive rebounds against this Canada team. Been a frustrating thing to watch. The offensive, so the whole possession, Luka was in the corner, wasn't touching the ball. I think that the plan that possession was for Prepelic to cook. He misses the three, right? The rebound goes right to Luka, who beats somebody and then gets who then kicks the ball to somebody else, gets the ball back. Fortunately, somebody got a kick ball on that second ball. Like that second pass into Luka, who was going to the basket, a kick ball saved that. And then Luka missed a shot. In transition, I think SGA got fouled and he's going to get put on the line. But again, like the shot that he missed, RJ was right there to get the rebound and the putback. So, like, I'll just take the 2 points in a situation like that. I wish, like, sometimes in basketball, they played advantage like they do play in football / soccer, however you refer to that sport. In terms of just like, yeah, the foul is called, but we'll let the play continue if it's advantageous to the team that was fouled. Because, like, of course, SGA is probably going to hit these 2 free throws and nothing will happen. Yeah, so he made both and nothing happened. But if he misses a free throw there and you get, you lose a point because basically a foul is called, it's frustrating. But a 3 point lead for Canada. People, Luka is going supernova, and we have a 3 point lead. I don't feel so bad about this. So Luka is wandering into the corner again. Prepelic has the ball. Prepelic dusts RJ on the perimeter. SGA with a very good shot contest as the help defender, but like he makes the tough layup anyways. I'm telling you guys, this Prepelic guy is a hooper. SGA with Luka on him, dances around a little bit, finds Dylan Brooks. Nikhil gets the ball, collapses the defense, and bangs over 2 Slovenian defenders. Let's go, Nikhil. I did not know. I'm sorry, player. I was unfamiliar with your game. My goodness. Prepelic, tough possession, guarded by Lou Dort, finds a shooter on the perimeter. We get a miss, and we get the rebound. Look at that. Look at that. SGA in transition finds Dylan Brooks open in the corner, who finds Nikhil. Nikhil, heat check. Oh, misses the three. Come on. Whew. Okay. What I will say though, on that possession, when we got the ball after the miss and SGA went up the court in transition, like somebody kind of tried to I guess they were trying to stop him from dribbling up the court. He dribbles around them, and there's some contact, right? And before anything is called, the defender starts complaining to the referee, who doesn't even call a foul. I think he anticipated that they were going to call a foul on him, and he started complaining. When nothing even happened, oh, Luka gets right by Dylan Brooks, gets to the basket, easy layup. Come on, Dylan Brooks, save the blow-bys for Dwight Powell. You got to keep Luka in front of you to your at a higher rate than you have been these last couple possessions. Nikhil with the ball. Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort in the corner, contested three. What the hell? Nikhil getting the offensive rebound, working hard underneath the basket. Dylan Brooks finds a cutting SGA, who is forced into passing to Lou Dort on the perimeter, who dribbles the ball off somebody's foot. Luka gets right to the basket. Blocking foul on Nikhil. I think that's been the call that Luka's been complaining for thus far. That level of contact has happened consistently so far in this game, and they haven't called anything. That's 2 fouls on Nikhil. But yeah, Luka's going to get put on the free throw line with a chance to give Slovenia a 1-point game. There's Dallas Mavericks fans at this game. Like, it looks like local Dallas Mavericks fans who are just repping for Luka. I understand it though. I know a Thunder fan that's repping for Canada in this tournament. Okay, fair enough, right? Nikhil's feet weren't set there. Whatever, fair enough. But man, that was not that much contact. Like, Luka was trying to he got into that part of the court and tried to spin, and yeah. A lot of that contact happened because he spun into Nikhil, who, yes, his feet weren't set, but whatever. Luka misses the first free throw. Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. Luka shooting a second. A second miss would be glorious. And he makes the second. So 50-50, people. 59 seconds left in the second. And a timeout. A timeout by Canada. So, look, man. As a Canadian fan, it's been a good first half from a standpoint that I like what I'm seeing, and I think we should be in good shape in the second half. If you're a neutral fan and you're just watching this game for the love of basketball to catch, the box office stuff that is Shea versus Luka, it's probably been an amazing game from a neutral standpoint. Back and forth scoring, a lot of shot making. Guys, it's 50-50 before halftime. We're on track to get both teams scoring around 100. That is fireworks in the FIBA game. That is a very high scoring game. So a lot of baskets, a lot of shots made. Again, I have no complaints with our offense in terms of shot making and shot generation, in terms of getting good looks. Yeah, defensively, I just like to see better. But at the same time, right, a lot of what's going on with Slovenia is they're making threes at a high rate, whether they're open, whether they're contested, and a lot of them are contested. They're making threes at a very high rate. So that's one thing. There are some other things I'd like to see cleaned up. The main thing being basically how easily Luka is getting our center switched on to him. He's had a lot of possessions in the second half with Kyle Alexander and Dwight Powell switched on to him. Oddly enough, they're showing replays of three possessions now where he had centers switched on to him. I think they're just showing a Luka highlight tape, and all the highlights are of him with centers guarding him. So I need to see that kind of a thing sorted out. He has 17 points in the first half. He only had 23 versus Germany in the whole game, and he had 20. I think he's averaging 26 on the tournament. Somebody in the comments actually clarified that with me in the preview. I said Luka was hurt and he played in the last game only, and that was wrong. Whoever I heard that from misguided me, or I misunderstood them. But the point is, he's averaging 26 points a game in this tournament. He's got 17 in the first half. He's cooking. SGA missed a shot, so now Slovenia has the ball, 32 seconds. Again, Luka with Dwight Powell switched onto him. Blow by, shoots honestly a tougher shot than he probably needed to. Missed it. So now SGA will probably dribble out the clock and take the last shot of the quarter. 50-50 people. SGA dribbling out the clock. 12 seconds to go. Screen comes from RJ. RJ gets the ball. RJ spins around. RJ tries to bully his way to the basket. RJ misses. And Slovenia can't get that shot off before halftime. So people 50-50. It's been a 50-50 first half. Very even. Both teams playing well. Both teams hitting shots. And we're going to see what happens in the second half. Like I mentioned, I think that a lot of our shot making is a product of us getting to the rim and SGA getting to spots in the mid range. A lot of Slovenia shot making is hitting contested threes. So I think what we're doing is a little bit more sustainable. Shout out my guy Rapslove. Rapslove, I believe you were in the chat during some of the summer league games, so I remember you. Shout out to my guy coming back in the chat. Luca's a cryberry baby, and it's embarrassing to watch, bro. He was crying that whole first half. That whole first half, from like early, I want to say 2-3 minutes of the game, just working the referees. And this is kind of something that I brought up, how they're calling it fine, I think. I don't want to see it turn because he's complaining. He took a tech. He was complaining when he made shots. Like I really respect his game in terms of like just like as a hooper. But yeah, the constant just working the referees when again, they're not calling the game unfair. To me, bad officiating is when they're calling things to one, like they're calling things for one team that they aren't calling for the other, right? If the referees are basically like really ticky tack and they're calling everything, or if they're letting them play and calling nothing, it's fine as long as it's even. And what the referees are doing in this game is even. So it's fine in my opinion, because we're not getting to the free throw line either. We're just making our looks, right? So yeah, that's what it is, man. Like I don't want Luca to change the officiating, and that one call underneath the basket on Nikhil, like it was the right call, but I don't feel like that's like by the book. But I don't think that that's the kind of stuff they've been calling thus far. So hopefully the tone of officiating doesn't change. But yeah, I feel encouraged. I don't feel bad at all. I don't really feel scared. Like the thing is, I would have been scared if we didn't see Luca getting all these points in this first half and it was 50-50, right? Because it would have felt like, look, that punch is coming. Like the punch is coming from number 77. But we already took the punch. We took the punch. He's got what, 17 points in the first half. This is what like Willie Hernan Gomez did to us as well. Obviously, a very different player. But again, like now that we felt the punch, I'm looking at it like, okay, cool. We can definitely like, we don't have anything to be scared of in terms of like, there's just something Slovenia can do that we can't handle. The whole thing is just like we have to play our game. If we just show up and play like shit, yeah, okay, we'll probably lose this game. But if we just show up and do our thing, I think we definitely have very, very good chances of winning this game. I think we've got a pretty well-rounded performance. Um, it's tough because basically, I think these last two games, where the level of competition is ramped up, we're getting very little from Olynyk and Dwight Powell. It sucks, but it just is what it is. We're getting a lot more from our perimeter players, obviously with Shea, Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett, even Nikhil and Lou Dort. Our 5 perimeter players are the guys we're getting the bulk of our productivity from. I don't think we could ever play a lineup of just 5 perimeter players, but that would be getting our 5 most impactful players on the court. So hopefully we figure a good lineup out. Like I said, like you put that fact to the side and also then consider the fact that like our centers are getting switched on to Luka, and that's a big part of what Slovenia is trying to do. So like ultimately our bigs are at this stage of the tournament where the level of competition is ramped up are kind of a problem for us. So like I said, it's on Jordy to figure that kind of stuff out. I do believe that he'll put us in the best position to win. And look, I believe with Shea, we're going to be put in the best situation to win by the guys on the court as well. So I feel good going into the second half. I feel positive. I feel encouraged. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any predictions for the score. And yeah, just if you guys have any overall thoughts, again, like during these breakages in play, We can always get some conversations going, whatever you guys want to talk about, whether it's the Raptors, the NBA, Canada basketball, the FIBA tournament, whatever it is. I'm here to chat about anything and everything basketball. They're running off some highlights of the second half. Sorry, the first half. So 17, but hold up, he's 5 for 12 from the field. So I think he's probably got like 4 to 5 free throws because I know he has like a 2 threes at least. But yeah, I'm gonna take a minute here to get some water and just get myself situated for the second half. So for a couple minutes, I'm gonna be away. But yeah, stay tuned in, people, because I will be back pretty soon. We're back. We're back, ready to go for the second half. The players are shooting their warm up shots to get ready for the third quarter. Um, Shout out to everybody who's still tapped in. They're interviewing Arash Madani. And yeah, I think that now the second half is about to start. Maybe some nerves are kicking in, but all things considered, like I can't rationally look at anything in the first half and say like, "Oh, I'm scared." But it will probably be a close game and a good finish. And that's just the thing. You know what it is? You know what I think? Why I think there's nerves is because in a close game against Spain, right? I'm looking at it and I'm like, look, Spain is a very good team in terms of just like coaching and structure and knowing how to play the game and experience and all those things, right? And that makes them um, a team you have to be fearful of. But they had no one like difference maker that you just kind of feel powerless to. Luca is kind of that kind of a figure. So in a close game against Luca down the stretch, those last 3-4 minutes, the when the ball's in his hands, it's going to be tough to watch. So for my own sake and for everybody else's sake, I hope that by that time of the game is over. That's what I'm hoping for, man. I want Canada to blow Slovenia out here so that I don't have to see crunch time minutes against Luca because I'm not really trying to see that at all. But yeah, I'm gonna get my prediction in the chat here. Let's go Canada 96, Slovenia 91. This is the prediction, people. This is the official Toronto Hoop Talk prediction for this game. If anyone else has a prediction in the chat, make sure you throw that in there. But yeah, Bam, everyone in the chat who's watching who has a prediction, throw that in the chat. I got my prediction right there. Canada 96, Slovenia 91. That's where I'm at with it, people. That's my prediction for the final score. If you guys have your own predictions, make sure you get them in the chat. Yeah, I'm ready for this third quarter. Ready for this to happen. Obviously, a win here would match us up with Slovenia. Serbia. Serbia is, I think, a more well-rounded team than Slovenia. Obviously, their main player is Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's not the same as Luka, but himself, Bogdan is pretty good, especially in a FIBA setting. It's a different environment than the NBA, so you get different kinds of production. They have Milutinov, who was a first round pick by the Spurs that I don't think ever actually ended up coming to the NBA, but he's steady, he's solid. There's somebody else too. They have a couple other players. They don't have Jokic, but then in the event that we play them, we don't have Murray either. So it's even. It's even. The Denver Nuggets cost both teams. It's not even, but like, yeah, the Denver Nuggets would cost each team one player each. All right, players are headed back to the court. Luka's taking his warm up shirt off. And we're about to get back to this action, people. Back to what we're really here for. we're not here for me to just like ramble about random stuff pertaining to this game. We're here for this action. The players are back on the court. I'm not sure who's inbounding to start the third. Slovenia is inbounding the ball. Number 6 is inbounding it for them. Let's see if Jordy made an adjustment to the starting lineup. Let's see. Dylan Brooks aggressively guarding Luka to start. Nope. The same starting lineup. The normal starting lineup starts this half. Dwight Powell gets switched on to Luka as normal. Luka's kick out to the three-point shooter gets stolen by SGA, who finds RJ in transition, who misses the easy layup. Come on, RJ, you got to get up and get back in transition. He's still not back defensively. And Slovenia gets a good look the other way. Come on, RJ, like missing the shot is one thing, but just laying there on the ground after you miss is another. Olynyk passes to Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell waits for SGA to give it to him, hands it off to SGA, who hands it off to RJ. RJ sees Luka underneath the rim and sees food, goes right to the basket and makes his layup this time. I like this. I think getting RJ going wouldn't be a bad thing to start this half. You know what you're getting with Shea. You know Shea is gonna get hot, and you know Shea is gonna be good. But getting RJ hot too early, honestly, like first two possessions of this half, both two easy RJ layups. Obviously, he made one and missed one, but that would be a good player to get going to start this half. Three. Oh my God, what a bad shooting form. Slovenia misses a three. That guy has not shot a three yet in this game because I would have remembered that 3-point shooting form. SGA strolls to the basket, makes it look easy and casual. Slovenia even tried to foul him on purpose, and they were complaining to the ref, like, why did you not call this foul? But it just strolling to the basket. Easy. It's light work. Luka backing down Dylan Brooks. Spins off of him. Dylan Brooks stays with him, forces Luka into a tough shot, and he misses. He's probably going to complain about the contact. Well, he hasn't, surprisingly. SGA gets fouled the other way. Let's go. Look, a good possession on Luka defensively, not seeing Dwight Powell on Luka, actually seeing a proper wing defender on Luka, not a big. And then on the other end, seeing SGA again have to get fouled because they just can't stop him. This is what I want to see. This is what I'm here for. Ball gets to SGA again. Ooh, spins through two defenders, finds RJ open from the three-point line, misses. Dwight Powell gets the rebound, kicks it to Olynyk. Olynyk finds RJ in the corner again. This time he doesn't take the shot. He gets to the basket. Tough shot. Tough shot. It wasn't actually even open. Oh, come on. He shoots it over the 7-footer at the rim, Mike Toby. He gets into the lane and tries to shoot it over him. And then, misses the shot and then just swipes at Luka to stop the transition possession. It was definitely a frustration foul. But to be honest, it looks like he hurt Luka's elbow there. So, I mean, that helps, I guess. Oh, no, Luka has tape there already, so it would have been a pre-existing thing maybe. Or maybe that tape is just for floor burns in that part of the elbow. But, yeah. So RJ is taking a lot, like 3 shots in the first 2.5 minutes. Luka, again, Dwight Powell on him. Dwight Powell actually does a great job this time staying with him. Transition on the other way. The miss turns right into an RJ Barrett breakaway, and he gets a layup to fall. 4 shots taken by RJ in the first 2.5 minutes. Slovenia on the ball now. Luka camping out in the corner. So they do have these possessions where they just camp Luka in the right corner and they run all the action among the other 4 players on the left side of the half of the court. So it's interesting that they go back and forth between basically Luka iso ball carry jobs and Luka chilling in the corner to kind of just be like a magnet for a defender to play 4-on-4 with the rest of the court. Shea finds an open RJ in the corner who misses. Kelly taps the rebound out. Okay, offensive rebounds. We're starting to get them now. Shea kicks it to Dylan Brooks at the 3-point line. Bad shot. Dylan Brooks sidestep three and he makes it. 7-point lead. A Canadian fan in the crowd. You can see his gum fall out of his mouth while he's talking shit to somebody. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Great start to the third. Great start. Like actually, this had a lot. This had a lot of themes here. So Luca complaining to the refs, that continued. Uh, Canada getting a lot of good shots at the rim and the 3-point line, that continued. Um, Dylan Brooks hitting a big shot, that theme continued. Um, yeah, Shea just being unstoppable. People like they tried to foul him on purpose to stop him from just getting to the basket on a possession. They tried to foul him. They actually weren't close enough to him for that swipe to generate in a foul to actually generate a foul. So he gets to the basket, he scores a layup, and then Slovenia starts complaining to the refs that they didn't call the foul. They said, "Hey, referee, why didn't you call a foul on us?" It's hilarious. It's hilarious that they're actually, instead of playing basketball, complaining to the refs about not calling an intentional foul that they couldn't do because they weren't close enough to SGA. It's hilarious. Um, but yeah, great start to the third quarter. Honestly, the thing about Canada is like they look locked in. They look like basically everything I wanted to see last game that I was like complaining about during the watch along. They're doing all of it right now. And a lot of credit has to be given to Jordy and just everybody on the team because they look like they weren't ready for the moment against Spain. They look very ready for the moment right now. They're playing smart basketball. They're playing good basketball. They're keeping their composure. And I really love what I've been seeing. It's only a 7-point lead, but like it feels like there's an element of control for Canada. There's a foul now on RJ off the ball, I think. Prepelic is in the game. Prepelic, people. Prepelic is Slovenia's hooper off the bench. He had some very good moments in the first half. Shea is going to start out guarding Prepelic. Prepelic turns it over in transition, turns it over right to RJ Barrett, who gets a dunk breakaway. He tried to kick it from the corner to a 3-point shooter at the top of the arc who left. So literally threw it into the other side of the court for RJ to go dunk the ball. Prepelic now finds a open 3-point shooter in the corner who makes his shot. I think that's Zoran Dragic, I think, but I'm not sure. Shea with the ball. Luca on. No, not Luca on him. Somebody else on him. Shea dribbles into his spot, picks up his dribble, has to kick it to Olynyk at the 3-point line, who decides, screw it, this is my moment now. Takes his man to the basket, gets the foul at the rim. And hey, I think Olynyk is going to get on the board here. I think he made a shot in the first and hasn't made a shot since. So he tried to throw it to Toby, who rolled instead of popping and literally just assisted RJ Barrett. Shout out my guy Prepelic, making up for some of the damage he did in the first quarter or the first half. Olynyk makes his first free throw shot. 7-point lead. Olynyk makes his second free throw. So he's got 5 points now, adds those 2 points to the 3 that he made in the first, I think the first quarter. Yeah, it was early. Prepelic on the ball. Luca again is camping in the corner. This is one of his Luca camp in the corner possessions. Prepelic shoots a 3, misses. I don't think they can afford to have him camp in the corner too much more. SGA to the basket, mid-range pull-up, gets the foul call. That was either a block or a foul. They called it very late, so I thought, damn. Zoran Dragic is out here blocking SGA mid-rangers? Nope, gets the contact over here. Not even close to the ball. SGA gets the free throw to fall. Slovenia with the ball. Zoran in the corner. Gets by RJ somehow, but I think he stepped out of bounds. He did step out of bounds. Turnover by Slovenia. They're stuck 10. 5 minutes to go in the third. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's not let the foot off the gas. Let's keep it going in this third quarter. It's been an amazing quarter here. Look, Luka still has to step out of this game, people. I need you guys to keep that in mind. We got a 10-point lead in 5 minutes while Luka is on the court. He's got to step out because I have yet to see a FIBA player complete a whole half of basketball. That doesn't happen. That does not happen. They called a foul on Slovenia off the ball defensively, so Canada will inbound it again. Defensive foul on Luka. Was in the process of getting blown by RJ. Couldn't get in the right position, so he's moving as he gets RJ to fall. Luka is obviously still very upset, complaining to somebody. RJ's had a very strong third quarter. He's what we need from him. That's what he's done. We know what we're going to get from SGA, but if somebody else can basically be an imposing force offensively and it can give one SGA minutes where he basically just like he doesn't have to force it at all. SGA can take his shots as the looks come to him, but he doesn't have to force it. Those minutes are big in terms of just like keeping him fresh for the end of the game, but also just like keeping Slovenia honest as a defense, right? So that's a big part of what's happened in this quarter. I think RJ Barrett's been great, getting to the basket, finishing his looks there. Foul on Dylan Brooks off the ball. You take that. He's not in foul trouble in this game. Luka gets Dwight Powell to switch on him again. Luka shakes, gets by Dwight Powell, gets to the rim, misses the shot. Dylan Brooks did a good job there of being there, but just not moving. Or like not fouling him, but just being under the basket, forced Luka to shoot the ball around him, and he just missed. And then Shea gets to the rim and gets the foul call. Prepelic gets the call against him. 2 fouls on Prepelic. It's funny though, because like in this quarter, it does feel like Canada is getting the calls that Slovenia want but aren't getting. That's not a lot of contact. I'll be honest with you, that is not a lot of contact. But I will take it all day, every day, because Shea at the free throw line is cashed 91% in the NBA last year. Makes both. Kelly Olynyk just runs into somebody. They both fall, and they call nothing. I love FIBA ball. Dylan Brooks guarding Luka. Tough step back. Tough. Not only did he step back, but then Dylan Brooks got a very good opportunity to contest it, and he just makes it because that's just what happens. But when that shot falls, when that team is down 14, it doesn't hit as bad, especially when RJ comes back and hits a corner three the other way. Look, Nav Bhatia is at the game. I did not know he was at the game. Shout out, Nav. That's amazing. That's amazing. 14-point lead for Canada. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Foot on the pedal. Luka finds a shooter in the corner. Makes the three. That's what Slovenia does. This guy's got blonde highlights in 2023, getting buckets. It is what it is. Now he's guarding Shea. Shea, step back three, makes it. All those free throws that he's been making in this quarter, Shea's been, getting a feel for his jumper, and then, it feels like as soon as he let that three go, he knew it was falling. Like he started backpedaling to get back on defense immediately. Luka, that's an up and down. Luka turns it over. Canada in transition. RJ, foul call. RJ to the free throw line. I'll be real there. Again, that's another call where like RJ was just dribbling into three defenders. The Slovenian coach is having to calm his bench down so he can talk to the referee on his own. I think he knows that somebody's on the brink of getting a tech. But let's see. Oh, no, that is a foul. That guy with the highlights actually messed up. The other guy got the steal afterwards, or may as well, like he could have got the steal. But the first guy swipes at RJ's arm as he's trying to dribble. So RJ at the free throw line, 15-point lead, 2:57 to go in the third. Life is good. Life is good. 76-61, 2:57. And he makes the second, 77-61. Canada's up 16. Timeout, Slovenia. No timeout. There's just subs. So Lou Dort checked in for RJ. So Dylan Brooks was pissing Luca off. Now it's Lou Dort's turn to piss him off. Nikhil entered the game as well. So Nikhil and Lou Dort checked in for Kelly and RJ. Open three from Slovenia. Front rim, they missed. Dwight Powell gets the rebound. Oh my God, and gets clattered off the ball. No call there, but that was ridiculous. Shea gets it. He travels there because he's looking to dump it off to somebody who's not there because Dwight Powell's still on the ground because he got clotheslined. That was crazy, but whatever. It is what it is. I'll take that. We've been fine so far in this game. I don't think that should rattle Canada. Luca's out of the game now as well, by the way. Okay, yeah. I'll send you the link. 100%. 100%. And one from Slovenia. Oh, what's it called though? Kenyan. If Slovenia goes on a run, the second you enter the stream, I'm sorry, I'm booting you the hell off. But yeah, I'll message it to you right now. Free throws made by Prepelic. Okay, bear with me, people, as I get this link to Kenyan. Three from Nikhil makes the shot. 3 big threes from Nikhil so far in this game. 16-point lead restored. Luca with the ball. Wait, was that Luca? I think it was. Yeah, I think, never mind. We do have Luca on the court. Dylan Brooks finds Lou Dort wide open three, misses. It's one of those threes that's so wide open that the player kind of takes too long getting his shot off. Just got to let it off in rhythm. Luca gets to the basket, gets the shot to fall. Stuck 14. That boy's sweating. He's sweating. His hair at the front was like normal looking for a lot of the game. Now it's dripping in sweat and like in tiny like strands now. That boy is dripping in sweat. And as Shea dribbles the ball up to welcome, we're gonna welcome Kenyan to the stream. Kenyan.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out my audio right now.
Do your thing. I'll put you backstage as you figure that out. Then we'll get you back in. But yeah, 80-66. We will have Kenyan joining the Watchalong. Lou Dort got fouled at the not at the basket, but he was trying to dribble to the basket. No, it's an offensive foul. Cool. Interesting. Luca with the ball. Shea guarding him now. I think he's going to get Kyle Alexander switched on to him. Takes a deep three. Makes the shot. 11-point game with 40 seconds to go. So Luca has played the whole third, I think. I don't think he's had any minutes off. So hopefully he sits the beginning of the fourth. SGA, step back three, misses. Kyle Alexander can't get the rebound. And Dylan Brooks fouls Prepelic in transition. to stop the transition possession from going on. And Slovenia will have to inbound the ball here. Slovenia was complaining about this maybe being like, I don't know if they wanted an unsportsmanlike or something, but yeah, that was nothing there. That was nothing there at all. Oh, I guess they're in the bonus, so that's free throws. So Luka checks out with 24 seconds to go in the third. I'm assuming he'll be out for the first couple minutes of the fourth. Canada will want to make the most of those minutes. Obviously, Prepelic makes his first free throw, cuts the lead to 10. And makes the second. So it's a 9-point game, 80-71 for Canada. 24 seconds to go. So Canada will dribble the clock out and probably take the last shot of the third. They sub out Kyle Alexander for Kelly Olynyk. Shea dribbles up the court. No pressure this time. The guy with the blonde highlights is checking him. 10 seconds to go. Olynyk comes to set a screen. Shea goes the other way, dribbles around, passes it to Olynyk, who's aggressively double teamed and has to get off a really bad three. Good possession. Slovenia is amped going into the fourth. 9-point game. Kenyon, what are your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
It's clear and all that.
Yeah. No, audio's good.
Okay, perfect. Because before it was, I was afraid to cause feedback. Listen, man, I told you. I told everyone. Right. Everyone was afraid of Luka, and I'm like, they didn't bring their best squad. I forget who the guy's name is, and I don't want to mispronounce someone's name. By the way, I think you're a little bit ahead of me in terms of your stream, so I just saw the Kelly Olynyk miss.
Okay.
Yeah, like I they're not the team that people think that they are coming into this tournament. They haven't really shot the ball well. They haven't really rebounded well. And then Luka, at times, maybe not necessarily this game, but in other games, he's looked like he's slowing down near to the end of games.
Right.
So there's a conditioning aspect. I think that maybe there was mention of like either a thigh issue or something, but
right.
He's not necessarily at full strength, is what I would say. So
yeah. That makes sense. Like obviously the scoring output they're getting from him is irregularly high. I feel like the shooting that they're getting from their team is irregularly high. They're shooting the shit out of the ball from three, and like they're hitting contested threes at a higher rate than a lot of teams I've seen in this tournament in this game. So it's like things are going very well for them offensively, and they still can't outscore us. Like I talked about it at halftime of like at halftime, even though the game was 50-50, I felt really good because I felt like we took Slovenia's best punch. We took their best punch and it was 50-50. So I was like, in the second half, I think there's a much better chance that what we do sustains and what they do doesn't. And that's what happened in the third. I mean, it's a 9-point game right now, but it was a 16-point game at some point. We kind of like relented a little bit, but I think we showed that like on the balance, we're a much better team. Obviously, if they have everything break right for them, they can hang, but we're a better team. RJ with the ball. Ball gets tipped into the backcourt.
Oh, whoops! I was on mute. I was saying that if Slovenia doesn't win today, that ends their Olympic berth. So they need to win this game and another game.
Shit. Oh yeah, because it's top 2 from Europe as well, right? And there were like 6 teams left going into the quarters.
I think ignoring France, because obviously France is
hosting
the tournament. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then, what's it called? Do they not have like an additional spot to play for in November or anything?
I believe there's other things that they can do to make it, but still, it's like it gets tougher because then you won't have Luka in November, right?
Right. Oh, true. Yeah, the NBA stuff. RJ,
yep.
big dunk.
Training camp starts soon, man.
It does. It does. It starts less than a month, I think, right? I think October 2nd.
We have the media days usually end of September, so it'll be
Yeah.
interesting. Just as a side note, in terms of like the coaching stuff and the lawsuit, if that's still looming and we don't have any new information by September, because that
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
get questions asked. Nice,
Oh,
Tom.
100%. So here's the thing, right? I think in a way, like they're probably in a spot where they could just be like, look, a legal proceeding is going on. We're advised to not speak about it. Like, I think that's going to be a good cop out to have while it's happening. That being said, there'll be just like a tension looming over everything. Whoa.
You're ahead of me, I think, but yeah, I just saw the RJ dunk.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll try. Uh,
Don't
yeah.
worry about
Okay.
ruining it, man. Just say it.
Okay, true. Yeah. So now basically just Nikhil gets right to the basket to get a layup, right? But it's one of those things where like they foul him like 2 seconds before that. And it's like, I don't know, just like now we might not score on this possession. Just let the guy get the bucket. This happened with SGA earlier and they didn't call it. But yeah, Slovenia has been trying to just foul us when we have these open layups happening.
So I have a question for you. I just did a show on FIBA previewing this matchup as well as the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
And a couple interesting conversations came up. So I'm gonna just like give you them. Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Like dog, just let him get
Just
the
like
layup. We didn't
let him
score
get
on
it.
that possession either, man. Like
Yeah, well, they didn't give you continuation. Here's the thing. I think okay, so do you like watching FIBA or NBA just in terms of style?
oh, I 100% like watching FIBA. I learned that this tournament, watching it all the way through. So like, there's a couple of things too, right? Like obviously, basketball side, right? The fact that there's basically no commercials in the middle of quarters, aside from like timeouts where they'll slip one or two in, right? I think the continuous viewing in the midst of play is very good, right? Then I think just generally like the fact that the game is a little bit less 3 point shot oriented, I think keeps like it keeps the game a little bit more entertaining. Now, I don't know if that's a personal bias thing for me, if that's like an objective thing that everybody feels, but I think the no advertisements thing is definitely an objective thing. And then also, honestly, like the 10-minute quarters, I like the quicker game. I don't know, like again that I think that thing might be subjective as well, but yeah, I've enjoyed the FIBA game a lot as a product. I think the product is A1.
Sorry. Yeah, the homogenization of the game seems to have happened a little bit, not entirely, but a little bit more in the
Yeah.
NBA, I find.
Yeah.
I think there's like an analytics movement, and there's like people are missing out on certain important things of the game, certain aspects of the game. So, for example, I've said this before, I'll say it again. You cannot win in the NBA without a good mid-range threat. I've never seen it. The closest that have done it were the Rockets. Even Golden State. Everyone uses Golden State.
Kevin Durant.
They Kevin Durant, and before that, it was Harrison Barnes.
Yep. Always like that's the irony too. Is like we think about that team with 3 point shots, but they had
Wiggins.
Yeah, one of the greatest mid-range players that we've seen.
Yeah. So
and then Milwaukee had Chris Middleton,
and also with Milwaukee, they were smart to start using Giannis in the post, and also Giannis worked on his post moves.
Yeah.
Good free throws. Again, you're probably already watching actual play.
Yeah.
I'm at 822, so I think I could switch to a different.
No, it's okay. I'm at 807. It's not like here's the thing. The game is like
it's not over, but it's in
not
control.
Over, but it's very much in control. Yeah. So like I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, but yeah.
The other question that I have for you, so that's very fair. Obviously, there's things that I like about the NBA, and it's a little bit more spaced out. I think in general, there's a lot of young players that they don't have a respect for learning moves, and part of this comes from like the AAU circuit and like again the homogenization of even skill sets. So it's like learning things like, as Beyond on my show would say, like, oh, that was a sexy back cut. I know some people will say pause to that, But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's actually really, really important to like have those things, right? Or
Yeah.
like even just the different cuts that you can make off ball, different footwork that you can make. And
Yeah.
footwork doesn't necessarily have to be in the post, right?
Yeah.
Like having your feet set every single time that you take a shot or whatever can make
Yeah.
a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I think what it is like the talent in a sport being developed does ultimately impact what the highest level looks like because the coaches have to ultimately use what they have, right? Like as a coach, at some point you can't look at the talent and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna mold everybody into something else when you have to keep a job. So you have to at some point give to what your talent is already molded as, and like basically that does give the power of what the trends are at the AAU to persist at the NBA, at the AAU level, for them to persist in the NBA. And I think that's definitely happened, right? And people talk about this a lot, about how like if you're developing in North America, you're developing in the AAU circuit and like playing in that environment. But if you're developing in Europe, right, the whole goal is like for the talented young players to be playing amongst the adults, right?
Absolutely. I
It's
think
a
the other
very
thing
different
too,
environment. Yeah, go ahead.
like the other thing too, you look at so I started talking about this even. Yeah, these videos get lower views just because everyone wants to talk about the Raptors. I want to more sometimes talk about basketball in the NBA where it's going.
Just
But
persist
like,
through it. Just persist through it.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm persisting through it because I just enjoy the conversations. I mean, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care about the views. I just I like having good talking good
For the
shop,
love
right?
of the game. For the love of the game.
Exactly. So I think you're seeing this now, and this is going to be an interesting point. I think you can tell me if it's not, but
Okay.
obviously it was nice pass by Brooks, and then thrown away. Um, I think here's the thing, right? You have a situation where a lot of the best big men in the NBA are not American, and they're definitely not Canadian, right? And I joke and say that there's milk that we could put in the water, but I think it goes more than that. I think if you look at the guys that have real skill, real footwork, real stuff, they're all European. That
Yep.
goes back to my AAU idea, right? It's like you look Jaron Jackson. Uh, I'll even give you another one. Now, to be fair, he's Nigerian, but Bam Adebayo. He did a lot of his training and he grew up a lot in America.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is that Bam is not really that skilled in terms of his offensive side.
You know
You
what
look
Bam
at
is
in
to me?
like
Bam is a small ball five and a big five's body kind of a thing, minus the shot. Like that's what I think. Like kind of what I see with his game. I don't really see
Mhm.
traditional center in anything of what he does. I think like when I look at Bam, I think a bunch of coaches at early stages of his career said, "Look, we're playing this high tempo, high pace." Run and gun, shoot the shit out of the ball style, fit into it kind of a thing. And that's just been what his career has been. And I think that's generally what's happening to basketball.
Well, if you look at even all the way back to where he played
Yeah.
in college, he came out knowing that it's like, oh yeah, he likes to settle on jumpers. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you look at that him against Boston, it's like, yo, get in the post attack, back down.
Dylan Brooks got kicked out of the game. I don't know what
Oh,
he
he did?
said, but it's for
Okay,
something
you're
he
ahead of
said.
me.
Yeah, it's just see. But here's the thing: I didn't see it in the moment. I don't have the audio on. I'm just seeing him like
Yeah, my
walking back to
audio's
the
on
locker
low.
room. Yeah, I just see him walking back to the locker room. Luca is shooting free
Oh, I
throws.
see, I see. He was talking trash to another player.
The thing is he got a unsportsmanlike already in this game. I don't know if it's a like a two unsportsmanlikes and you're out of here kind of a thing, or if it's like that what he said was just so heinous. But he's out of the game. Ludor
Probably
checks in.
not.
Probably not. 15 point
But
game,
it
seven.
like this is one of the things you can't be a like a front runner. If you're ahead, you have to keep your. I get it. I like the edge that he brings. I think overall throughout the tournament, he's done a good job of like balancing it. But this is
Yeah,
one of those times when it's like, I get it. You're up by a lot, but there's still time left on the board. Like, let's just bring it home safely, land the
100%.
plane, right?
100%. And this is just where it is of like I just feel like that Spain game it brought back old Dylan Brooks because prior to the Spain game, my take was like, yo, he's on his best behavior. He is
Yeah.
timid offensively, like not just not erratic but timid, and he's not saying anything. Like, oh, he's brand new now. Like the whole
Yeah, it's
LeBron
almost
James
like a
experience,
neutered cat or something.
kind of, right? And then the Spain game happens, and he has those big moments, and it feels like now it's like he's like it's back. It's like it. I don't know. I feel like maybe he had a FaceTime with his Grizzlies homies, and they just started gassing him. A tech
Yeah,
on
I don't
Luca.
know.
Hold up, it's a tech on
It's.
Luca. This is two techs. Is
Oh,
he
is
out of
it?
the game? Is two techs out of the game in FIBA? He's clapping somebody in the crowd. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
Luca's kicked out. Luca's out of the game. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, you're ahead of me because I'm like waiting for this to happen. So he's inbounding the ball, and I'm assuming it happens right after this.
Dylan Brooks got under Luca's skin. He got him and Luca kicked out. It was you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
he,
yeah,
he
yeah.
paid a great price. He paid a great price.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. You can't. Actually, this is gonna be a throwback. This goes back to what's his name? Demar early on used to spend so much damn time arguing with the damn refs every single time. Every
Facts.
time. And
Facts.
it's like, dude, you need to get back down the floor. How many times this game you saw Luca
Yeah.
arguing with the ref? Well, plays going back the other way. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
like we got a game to play. Like you got to get back
Exactly.
here.
Exactly. There was actually one possession. I don't know if you saw it. It was at the either the end of the second or the beginning of the third, where like Shea was going up the court. Somebody was pressuring him in the backcourt, and like he got around them, but there was some contact. The Slovenian player starts complaining to the ref as if they called a foul on him, and they called nothing. Like he was
Yeah.
complaining as play was going on preemptively that a call was going to be made, and I just thought that was ridiculous. Like at least wait for the whistle to complain. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But
It's silly.
they've been really aggressive about this in the Premier League in soccer. By the way, like they've been
Mhm.
handing out yellow cards with the swiftness. If you ask, like if you signal, like if you ask for a foul, you get a yellow immediately. It's been working, I think. So it's like they need to maybe bring that here because just like there's a limit to it, and like I'm a person where like I believe that communication between the players and officials is important, but I think like there's a difference between seeking clarity on something and just like outright just whining. I think the
Yeah, well,
whining
there's a
can
level
go.
of being egregious, right? Like it's like, okay, come on,
Exactly.
we got a game to play. We already don't have commercials, so let's just get. Ooh, that
Facts.
slipped out of his hands.
Facts.
Yeah, they're flustered. They're flustered. I'm not saying that the game over, but they're flustered, and it's tough when when you're spending this much time arguing with the officials and you're down. It's
Yeah.
really tough to because your emotions are just you really need to kind of keep them in check. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
This is another thing on the episode that I just recently did. So, for the that was a bad shot by number 10 on Slovenia. If you were deciding on the, I think it's number 10. If you were deciding on the Olympic team,
Yeah. Andrew Wiggins.
no, I'm just asking in general.
Okay.
Like, first, A, who's your team? B,
Okay.
you have 12 guys, by the way.
Yeah.
Who are you okay with leaving some of the people that quote unquote got you here?
I think there's differing degrees of got you here, right? Here's the thing, right? So overarching point is that
Is that how you sell it
overarching
to
point
them?
is yeah. I was
Hey
like,
man,
look,
listen,
Scrub
there's levels
Brothers.
to this.
Scrub Brothers. Better learn French, buddy.
Yeah.
Like you're
I
not
mean,
in
hey, you
Toronto
could
for
have an
that.
extra coaching staff thing or whatever if you
No,
want.
so here's how I look at it. I'm basketball first, like on court basketball first. Like there's a lot of I'm hearing a lot of people talk about all kinds of principle, and I understand, but like I'm sorry, you got us here so that we can do the most damage while we're here. And like I don't think there's any shame in that or that's inherently a bad thing. And I would if I was a player that helped Canada get to the Olympics and then didn't get a spot on the team because I wasn't one of the 12 best players, it's easy for me to say as the person not there. but I would kind of hold some pride. Like I'd be proud
You're
about it.
like,
Like,
man,
yeah,
I got to get in the gym.
I laid the foundation. I carried the bricks. You know what I'm saying? And they built a beautiful home, kind of a thing. Like I wouldn't. I don't know. I understand it being like a
You may want a different analogy than bricks.
fair enough. Fair enough. We'll use a better analogy next time. But I mean, just like yeah, that's why I'm looking at it. Like, um, I don't know. I'm going basketball on court basketball first and foremost, right? And then the second thing I would consider is like interpersonal dynamics within the players. So like that maybe opens the door up a little bit when it comes to other stuff. But like that's the thing. Like if for example, like if the players don't appreciate Andrew Wiggins and his stance, to me that's valid. Whereas the principle that like he didn't want to help get you here, so he shouldn't get like that one doesn't really resonate with me. But the if the reality is if like if it would bother other players to have him be there, or if guys don't respect him, shit like that, that's important to me, right? Like yeah, just so I'm looking at it with that. And then if you're looking for an
Sorry.
actual team,
I'm just
if you're
watching
looking
the
for
game.
yeah, same. I'm balancing here. If you're looking for an actual team, I gotta look at our pool of players.
Yeah, so what I'll say is there are 26/27 NBA players, depending on who you are counting. As it be like, for example, it's like I don't know if Tristan Thompson is still in the NBA or not, technically. I know he was on a
Neither
bench
does his baby
recently.
mother.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. At some point, some sort of checks are still coming, but
He
actually,
tried his best.
to be honest, the
We
checks might be
don't know
going the
for
other
sure.
way.
We don't know for sure where the checks are going in this
Yes,
situation.
because I think she makes more money than him. But here's the thing. He did a lot of work early on in the program, and he plays a position of need.
I know.
So it's like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that there's obviously I don't know what happened with Trey Lyles this time. Because I don't know if he had a contract thing or not, but I know for other guys, they had their stuff. Like Brandon Clark got injured. We could have used
yeah.
him.
Oh, 100%.
Um, I
Oh, I
think.
totally forgot about Brandon Clark.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, yeah,
Uh,
that could have been a guy. That could have been a guy.
Beyond brought up a good, or no, sorry, I think it was Coach Roach. He brought up a good point. It's like you have the Nemhard brothers. One of those two would be nice as a point guard because again, yeah, they're right. We don't really have a good point guard who can really set the table. Like Shea is Shea, but he's like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you need
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
that's a little bit more
Well,
whatever.
you need a different kind of player for the other players. Like you might be getting a little bit more out of Dwight Powell and Olenek if there was a point guard. Like because they need the looks for them.
Yeah. I
So
One thing I also hope for too is like I know you brought something up really that someone else brought up as well. I think it was Jonathan Chen from the Raptors Republic. He brought it up. And I think the thing is like you brought up like, if players have problems with Wiggins, I think at the end of the day, the players that are going to join this, whether NBA or not, we're not like the Americans where every single year you're expected to play, you're
yeah,
expected to win.
yeah,
Um, it's like, oh, we're just going to get gold. They don't always, but like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the expectation. So you kind
yeah,
of take it for granted. For these players, this is one of their only chances to really add to their international resume. As I said
yeah.
on my show, it's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame,
True, true.
right? So it's
This is
like
real. This
Manu.
is real.
Some people look at Manu. Manu was a damn good player, but some people look at him. They're like, "Oh, he didn't have all these accolades." It's like, yeah, but he had a damn good international career that
Right.
really, really helped bolster him, right? So I think if you have a chance to medal, I don't care if it's Wiggins or not. I mean, and the other thing too is like, frankly, you have Wiggins on this team. It puts a lot of other people in their natural place. You shouldn't be relying on Dylan Brooks the amount that you are offensively.
Yeah.
Not no shade to him. It's just I'm sorry, but you know, um, I think the other thing too is like Andrew Wiggins' mom had a big hand in him playing, I think she's going to have that hand again. I forgot about this. Beyond reminded me, his mom was an Olympian.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
The boy's going to play. I don't want to call him a
That's
boy,
that.
but in
That,
her
that
mind, her boy
nah.
is going to play.
Oh, 100%. No, I agree. That makes complete sense actually. And yeah, again, like the Hall of Fame point is not something I considered. It's a good thing to keep in mind. A player like Wiggins has a ring, so it's like for him, if he can medal, get a ring, be a first overall pick, big and one SGA. But that's a resume. You're putting together a real resume, and like I don't know if he thinks like I don't know if Andrew Wiggins is thinking Hall of Fame, but he should be because like he has some of the early components, right? Successful college career, all things considered. So like yeah, and also ultimately like my thing is unless people outright don't like the guy, put him on the team because we need him on the court.
Well, I'll tell you, Jamal Murray, he said it to Nurse. There's like a holiday episode where they got a bunch of Canadian athletes all together, a
Yeah,
couple figure skaters, a couple different Olympians, and they got them all together in a house. And I
yeah,
think Nurse was there and Jamal Murray were there, and they were talking about this. And then
yeah,
all of a sudden, it was like, well, what did he say? He was like, this is before he won the chip, obviously, but he said, I want to win that Larry O'Brien, and he's like, I want to win a gold medal. He's got one of
yeah,
those goals. And the thing is because the Olympic that you go in now, because it used to
yeah,
be you used to be basically wasn't even every 4 years was the Olympics. So you're looking at you may see one Olympic in your lifetime because you're looking at every 8 years they would alternate or something like that, right?
yeah,
And then they switch it to basically every 4 years is a summer, between summer and winter. So at this point,
You're gonna see it,
you
but I think
have
you're gonna see it, but I think Shea might have iced the game with two offensive rebounds. Not a shot made because he just got
oh,
fouled,
okay,
but he may have iced the game with two offensive rebounds. So look,
okay, I gotta I
SGA
gotta watch this.
getting in on the game in a multitude of ways. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
Hold on, he kind of dragged his pivot foot there, but yeah. Okay, okay. Oh man, he's all over the boards. Good job.
Speaking of Tristan
Um,
Thompson, who needs Tristan Thompson when you have Shea?
yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. Shoot.
Um, okay, we're talking about Olympics. Jamal Murray wanting to win
It
an
was something about
Olympic at an
resume. Oh,
Olympian
right.
event. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, he's not gonna miss it for the world if he has to come out on like where he's playing every second game and then on stretchers, being carried off. He wants this that bad, right? Like
100%.
he was so disappointed. My main thing is that like just in case something happens, you want enough NBA talent so that if someone goes down in training camp or whatever,
Yeah.
that you're not like, oh man, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I want it so that like it's gonna sound bad, but it's like if Nikhil Alexander could be like so unimportant on this team that he's playing
Yeah.
10 minutes,
Yeah.
then you have a good team.
Yep. Yep. If that's your like in case of emergency kind of a player, you're in a good spot.
And we have enough talent in the NBA to do that.
So here's my thing too is like I I haven't really put the numbers together, but like I want Benedict Mathurin on that team for like
He's one person that we've talked about on my channel, like that
1000%. I want him on the team because I think his skill set is very good for this team, and also just generally, I think his ceiling as a player. I want him in and a part of the program because again, like speaking of injuries, right? Like we all talk about SGA, Jamal Murray, and how great they are as like the offensive initiators, but like if one of those guys is gone, I think you need a Benedict Mathurin a little bit more than you need a RJ Barrett. So I
I
want him
I
to just be a
also
part of the squad. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say I vaguely remember hearing. I know Miller was playing with them earlier in the summer, just like in practice. But
Yeah,
I believe Mathurin might have been as well. So I know like Mathurin want like these guys are proud. Like they
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to play. You know what I mean?
100%.
They
Yep.
want to play and they want to bring home gold. And it's not like back in the day where you barely have enough NBA talent. You're begging them to come and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think you just field the best team. We have a good pipeline. I think this upcoming year we have like two guys. One guy probably won't make it to the NBA, but we'll see. It's just like
yeah,
because of size wise, but you never know. And then the year after, we have another two wings. We don't have
yeah.
any centers. We have a lot of wings that are coming out that look pretty good. So,
Hey, where is Nick Nurse when you need him, man? Give me a
yeah,
five forward lineup.
yeah, someone who can actually play though. Hopefully, um, I actually feel bad for Nurse as a side note. Not that I think it was time for him to be done as a coach, for our team, but like in a way, it's kind of the same thing that happened with Casey. Casey was kind of always asking. Usually, the coaches are the ones that are kind of like hinting at what needs to be done with the team,
Right.
and like Nurse was always talking about needing a like not directly, but you remember hearing in September and November that the coaching staff was frustrated with the younger players on the team.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like off season comes. It's like, oh, we get a bench in 2 days. Like we, or at least we add to the bench in a real way, not Netflix stars, real adding of
Yeah,
the
for
to the
real.
bench.
Not part-time basketball players, like
Yeah.
real basketball players.
Now you contrast that with Casey. He was complaining about certain things too. All of a sudden, he gets fired. Who comes through the door? Kawhi Leonard. Every time, every single time.
That's an interesting observation, but it definitely Luca's back on the court to congratulate guys in his without his jersey on. That's interesting. Random Jazz fan in the crowd. Oh, is that Nikhil's family? Is he still on the Jazz?
He's on the
Oh, he's
Timberwolves. He
on
just got a deal.
Minnesota. Yeah, he
I
just
think
yeah.
is it 2 years?
Okay,
It was a
maybe
good
that's
deal. It was a good deal. It was like it was 2 or 3 years. He's making
yeah,
around 10 million a year or somewhere around there. Oh man.
yeah. But yeah, people, Canada have won this game. We're doing a little, impromptu Raptors podcast, but don't let that distract you from the fact that Canada is in the semifinals. We will be going up against Serbia. Serbia, a team in their own right that has their own shit going on, but I mean, it's not Germany or the U.S., so I'll take it. Obviously, a well-rounded, good performance from Canada. Got a little bit from a lot of different guys. 31 and 10 from SGA. What a superstar. Nikhil made threes when need be. And Dylan Brooks got Luca kicked out the game. So fuck everything else he did. That was a pretty big achievement in the stat column. You can't put that in a box score, but that's big. Dylan Brooks is literally in the hallway with boxing gloves on, sparring nobody right now. This is hilarious. He's
Wait,
waiting for his
I
teammates.
turned
I'm
it
dead
off. Did he
serious.
actually?
I'm dead serious. He's in the hallway waiting for his teammates to come down the hallway.
Oh
He's
my
shadow
gosh.
boxing waiting for his teammates to come through. Nah, Dylan Brooks.
He's
Has,
funny, but there's something wrong with him, man, at times. He's a weird
he,
dude. Like funny dude, but weird dude. I like it. Do you, man? Do you? Uh
oh,
just
what a
to continue
moment.
on with the FIBA stuff,
Yeah,
USA is going to be playing Germany, and that's going to be a very interesting matchup that happens. Germany obviously won today, I think a little bit earlier than ours. Couldn't wake up for that, but a little
yeah.
bit earlier than ours, and it was they won 81-79 to Latvia. They have
Latvia,
also
Davis Bertans missed a three at the end to win the game.
Yeah, they also have had a tendency to give the US recently some problems. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. And then us versus Serbia. Serbia's still they're playing well, but Jokic ain't there, right?
Yeah.
So at this point it's still a very very interesting matchup to see you know, who's gonna I'm kind of low-key glad that it wasn't Lithuania that we ended up playing,
Oh,
where they
100%.
just would have been like ground and pound for the entire
Yep.
thing. You're putting Zach Edey out, and then you're like, no, Zach Edey ain't ready.
Zach Edey, yeah, is not that guy. Now, 100%,
Yeah.
Valanciunas would have been tough to deal with. I'm excited to see Germany, US. If hopefully they put that, like, don't give us the 4:45 start Eastern time. put it to like 7, maybe I could make it kind of a thing.
It's actually going to be 8:40.
So then what is our game?
Our game is
Oh,
our game's on.
they're both on Friday. So it's like
Oh
if
man,
they
you don't want to
happen
know.
4:45?
Our game's 4 hours earlier. Yeah, 4:45.
No.
It's like a nightmare
No.
that won't end, but you're enjoying it because it's a.
It's good, but like look at the time zone we're in. That's 1 a.m. for people on the West Coast. That's a night game for them. They're gonna turn up on Thursday night and watch that game on Friday morning.
Oh
Yo,
yeah,
4:45 is ugly. What am
yeah.
I gonna do? Am I gonna wake up? I don't.
Yeah, I don't want
Maybe,
to.
maybe. This is the thing. Is like I genuinely I have to.
Actually, the times of all the remaining stuff. So the nice thing, some hopefully some motivation for Canada is if they actually win, the final game is actually at 8:40 instead of earlier at 4:30. So
Yeah, yeah.
Canada, please do right by us and win, because that would be really annoying to have to watch you play a third place game at 8 or at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
yeah.
I wouldn't do the third place game. I'm good. But the semifinal at 4 in the morning.
You've just tapped out.
Four. Yeah. Pending people, pending. I will clarify whether I'll be live for
He
that
will be
game.
here no matter what. Won't miss a stream.
I
I'm
feel like
signing you up.
the commitment to the grind might have to make it. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. It'll be. I'll have to be. I probably won't be that loud. I might be
You'll
whispering
just
into the
have your
mic.
bed
It might.
propped up and you'll
Yep.
be like
I'll just be asleep on stream for like 2 hours.
Oh man.
I'll wake up.
So
I'll wake up at 200 subs. Make it happen, people.
what was there was this one streamer and he put out and he's just like, hey, sometimes I have a co-host called Mr. Chair. Mr.
It
Chair
might be
handles
one of
his
those.
business.
It might be one of
So
those, man. And
yeah.
live on the stream will be, Mr. Bedsheet.
Yeah,
One of those.
exactly. I decided to hop in because I noticed the chat wasn't as lively this morning, and so I wanted to
It's early.
keep you some company, keep you some
I
company.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. This was good. This was good fun. We saw a great part of the game.
Mhm.
It was a solid finish from Canada. Slovenia tried their best, but ultimately Dylan Brooks got Luka out the game. So it is what it is. Prepelic could only do no much. Yo, Prepelic is randomly a hooper. I did not know. I learned. But Prepelic can hoop. That being said, he could only do so much by himself. We got this W. Uh, I think we're going into Serbia with some good momentum. We're playing good basketball. All the dumb shit that we did against Spain, we didn't do today, so that was nice. Dylan Brooks still tried to chip in like the dumb shit category, but ultimately it got Luka ejected. The aggregate of frustrating things that he did to everybody on the court eventually got Luka ejected. So um, happy with the result. What did I predict? I predicted 96-91. What did the end final score be? Did I get the 96 right?
I thought we had like 100 or something, didn't we?
Oh,
Sorry,
never
I
mind.
just
Yeah, I
switched
was
away.
wrong.
We laid a whooping
Oh, we
on
got
them.
100 to 89. I actually got Slovenia close. I got Canada's, I was finger on the pulse for Canada's defense. It was 100 to 89. I wasn't that far off. I'm happy with my prediction. But yeah, people, we're going to wrap up this stream here. It was a good time.
Before we wrap up, do you want to just talk really quickly about the next game?
Oh, 100%. Let's make it happen. Okay, Serbia preview, people.
Okay, Jovic.
Yes, Jovic. Yeah,
He's been playing really well.
Future Raptor in the three-way Dame deal. Hero and Jovic. Welcome to Toronto.
I would love it. I would not complain with that. I think Serbia is a very dangerous team, because there's not really a single point that you're really right now in terms of how they're constructed that you could really hone in on in the same way that you did with this.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are ways to game plan it. I'm not going to get into the whole numbers thing right now, but I think that they're a different challenge, but less of a challenge than I think Lithuania would have been because they don't have the same level of size. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this team up and put it on the screen for people who might be unfamiliar with the team that we're gonna go up against. So we're gonna go up against this unit right here, Serbia. I enjoy the Wikipedia rosters because they put the teams of the players beside them. But yeah, so obviously the players that people would be familiar with are the NBA players Bogdanovic, Jovic, and I guess Petrusevic, who actually I did not know before this right now. But Nikola Milutinov was a first round pick by the Spurs who has yet to come to the NBA. He's one of those guys, but obviously like he's a good player. He's a 7-footer. Slovenia has Mike Toby. He didn't do anything today. I will see how good Milutinov is. Obviously, I've never seen him play before, but yeah, like the with Jovic and Bogdanovic, two players that are in the NBA are like legit NBA players, and then of course they're gonna have their Euro guys who we've never heard of, we're not familiar with, but they're gonna play well. Like some of the guys on Latvia and what was his name? I forget his name. The guy that I was just gassing earlier, that's a hooper that I did not know of on this team. But yeah.
It's like started with a P.
Yeah, it did. Prepelich, I think.
Sounds good to me. I stay away from the trying too much to.
Congrats for making the semifinals. Props to the Canadian. I'm happy that we won a really ugly game. We have the later game, and I do not have to get up as early as you guys. Hey, hold up. So are you American? Is that what that's a reference to, or German regarding to the in regards to the later game? But thank you. That's appreciated. Congrats to you that you're in the semifinals. I hope if we run into you in the finals, you're wishing me congratulations again. But we'll see what happens. Serbia will be tough. I think, like you said. He's German. Okay, shout out to you. Thank you for Dennis Schroeder. And
please take out the Americans for us.
100%. I hope we meet in the finals. If we meet in the finals, hit me up again, and you can hop on a stream. We'll have you live for the watch along. We'll talk shit for the whole game. It'll be a good time. But yeah. So like I said, like you said, the Serbian team not having like one focal point and being like a team that you have to respect. I think that's actually what makes Germany a really tough team. When I watched Canada play Germany in the friendlies, part of what made that a frustrating team to go against is that, again, there was no focal point. That's a whole team, and you have to respect everybody on the court. So I think Serbia is going to bring that element. We're going to have to figure that out. I think we kind of struggled against Spain in that regard. Like they did have a focal point, but like there were big stretches of the game where Willie wasn't doing anything and a bunch of random other guys were. Slovenia didn't really present that kind of a threat. Slovenia was very much about Luka, and if not Luka, the open looks created by Luka. So I think we coped pretty well against that kind of a team. But I don't think we're going to run into that kind of a team ever again. So Serbia, it is. I think
not this year.
I think I still feel good about. I feel good about this matchup. But again, like I haven't had a chance to watch Serbia yet, and I know they've been cleaning teams up so far in the group stage. So I don't know if you've watched Serbia. Maybe you can give some more insight.
Not as much this tournament. There's just a lot of games to watch, and I haven't been. I did not pay for fan side because fan side, will black out the Canadian games. I don't want to pay for fan side and a VPN. But if it comes to it in the future, like the Olympics, I would definitely do it. What was I going to say with Serbia? They don't have their full squad. So I believe both Bogdanovic's. I think there's actually
Bojan is not there.
There's another one, but
there's a third Bogdanovic.
Can't remember. Yeah, it's the
Is he young? Is he like up?
No, it's the old dude. He's like 7'5". He's like a meme. He used to play for Dallas.
Boban
Thank you.
Marjanovic. Not
Yeah.
yeah.
So I keep thinking because there's two Bobons and then there's Bogdan.
Yeah, so that's the thing. There's Bogdanovic's, and then there's a Boban
Yeah.
that's also a Anovich, but
Yeah.
Marjanovic. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, no,
So
him. It's Tobias Harris's
because
man.
the Boban Bogdanovich plays for Detroit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
No, no. So
there's a
hold no,
lot
no.
of
That's Bojan. Bojan. Bojan.
Boyan. Sorry.
Yeah,
See,
Bojan.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
why I.
No, I get it. I get it. But I'm here to clean the names up for you. We work as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Bojan is for Detroit. He's not here. Marjanovic is 7'5"
Yeah.
somewhere, looking awkward as hell. And
Yep.
Bogdan is on this team here. So
Yeah. Bogdanovic, really good player. I think he was like a really high end pro all the way back until I think he was like 16 at some point, just breaking dudes down in the Euros. Really good
yeah,
player. There's a reason why Giannis wanted to play with him a couple
yeah,
of
we're
years
gonna
back,
we're
and
gonna
then
get him for
yeah,
Pascal. So we're gonna get Jovic and Bogdanovic from this team at some point.
yeah,
Before the trade
exactly.
deadline.
I was gonna say his knees aren't too good right now because he
This isn't
plays
e- this
all
isn't
the time.
Yeah, 100%. This isn't even going to be a Canada Serbia watch long. It's going to be a Raptors scouting mission. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
I wonder. Yeah. Anyways, I won't get into Raptors stuff, but in terms of France next year, just to finish off for myself,
yeah,
I'm curious if Embiid decides to join the French team because he does have
yeah,
citizenship now,
yeah.
and technically, Pascal, if he wants to, he could.
He could be French. Here's my thing, right? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think would make it happen now? I just feel like it would have happened already.
Who?
Like, like anybody who's able to join the
Embiid?
French team. Yeah, because the thing is, their qualification is automatic because they have the tournament, right? So, like, I'm wondering, like, why has it not happened yet? There's no reason for it to not happen.
Contract stuff. Embiid. I mean,
I
it could
mean,
be just
okay.
straight cardio.
Uh,
like
that's
I
true.
mean the dude gets tired in the NBA finals or not even finals but like making it to the finals
First round,
after like
first round.
first round,
He's
second period of the second game, right? He's
he's
just
out
like
here.
he's
He's out here.
gassed.
He's out here gassed against teams that should have blown their team up at the trade deadline, bro. This is not.
Right.
This is not the highest level.
So it's just like, look, I get it, but I also get it on the other side.
Yeah.
But I mean, they didn't bring like Wemby this, and like Wemby's gonna play. Bilal might play, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's other guys. Fournier is probably this is his last run, so he'll probably be on the team at some capacity.
Yeah.
I think Nick Batum is done, but he's had
cooked.
some good runs with them.
He's cooked. He's cooked. Even Fournier looked like he looked very good in the first half against Canada, but he looked cooked in the second half.
I mean, it's like anything, right? Like it's like you get to the age of like 32 and above, it's like you start, like what was it? Vince Carter was talking about you have to rub like Ben Gay on your knees every single night and like take Advil and all this kind of stuff.
I remember Vince Carter said he takes a Tylenol and an Advil every day, and that's how he played to 42. Now I don't know if the medical professionals would recommend that, but I mean it seems like a successful experiment.
To be honest, yeah, I mean, if it's just Advil, as the joke goes, there was this one show, but it was like, anyways. And he just said, well, how much Advil do I give her? He says, well, listen, put some in your handful, throw it in her mouth because her mouth is open because she was like, comatose. He said, whatever sticks, that's good.
Hey man, Vince is like the thing of like 4 out of 5 doctors recommend. Like Vince is one of the 4 out of 5. He recommends the usage of both at the same time.
There's nothing wrong, just so people know it's a nerdy side. It's basically because it's an anti-inflammatory. So any tearing that you're going to do to your muscles, I actually sometimes do it before workouts myself, to be honest. So, yeah.
They're showing the locker room, and Dylan Brooks still has the boxing glove.
He still has the boxing. Does he have it around his neck?
On his hands. They're panning to the locker room, though. Every locker has a set of boxing gloves. This might have been a gimmick, but it sounds like a Dylan Brooks gimmick. It sounds like he showed up to the locker room with 12 set of boxing gloves and said, look, we're going to win a fight today. And they're like,
I
"What do
like
you
it.
mean, Dylan? We have a basketball game to play." And he's like, "No, we're gonna win a fight today." And then they went
You
out to the court.
you remember KG talking about, hey Charles, have you ever been in a ball fight? It feels like one of those moments. Anyways, I'm gonna log up. I'll let
Yeah,
you
yeah,
close
yeah.
the stream down, but
I'm
take
out of
care,
here,
man. Thanks for
people.
having
I'm out
me.
of here, people. Thank you for being here, Kenyon. You have a great rest of your day. To the people
You as
watching,
well.
hope you guys have a great rest of the day as well. Shout out to you guys for being a part of this here. If you're still here, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. These forms of engagement help channels get bigger. Also, check out Kenyon's channel, Basketball Rewind. A lot of pre-recorded videos there. A lot of interesting conversation. If you like basketball, there's definitely something there for you that you'd enjoy. But yeah, just like check these out, run the numbers up on your way out, and stay tuned in because a lot more content is on its way.